Hello, Robson, back with more books. These were half were purchased today, and well, now it's yesterday, and the others were purchased 4 days ago or something to that extent. We'll start with the older ones. King's Island: A Ride Through Time. I'm gonna sell this one. Something tells me I've already reviewed these. Not necessarily reviewed them, but mentioned them, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't really care about Kings Island. I went there many years ago with me brother. For some reason, I don't know why we wouldn't go to Cedar Point, but our father said we will go to Kings Island instead. Maybe it was cheaper. It was also a 3-hour more drive, so I don't know. Anyway, Blessed Solanus Casey, the official account of a virtuous American life. This is the second or third book on Casey that I found recently. Not sure why. It keeps popping up at different thrift stores, but maybe people are donating their stuff to multiple places so they can maximize their tax credit. I don't know. Can you do that? Don't know. A Man is a Hook. Trouble. Faye Kicknosway. I'm not sure how you say it. I looked her up, and she's teaching at the University of Hawaii, and under a different name. I can't remember the name, but she hasn't released many books of poems since. As you can see, there's some kind of phallic symbolism in almost every one of the illustrations in this book, so she probably had some daddy issues. So as to say. I believe there's one at every beginning of every chapter. Anyway, her students on the whatever those sites. I mean, this is overtly phallic. Well, granted that she's a good illustrator, but symbolism's weak. Hey, look, it's a pecker coming out of a skull's mouth. That's beyond boring. Her students claim that she's rather abrasive and tells them that everything they do is rubbish. And that most of what's great is her. Let's read something by her. Detroit, female faces all. In a row, cigarette butt, empty matchbook. Kleenex, everything, arranged. The name of God, the planet Earth, wet, glued words. Our trees, rocks, the red mud of Oklahoma. Cars are houseplants. Children are envelopes, the wings of birds buried in the earth. It's senseless, useless. The wrong voice, like cartoon speech sewn to your lips. Spitting doesn't free your mouth. Eating doesn't free your mouth. Not even talking or kissing. Window, map, Detroit, free press, food guide. Your eyes blink and the images blink. It takes hours to see inside the holes the pictures make when they touch your skin. Hours. I mean, that's absolute garbage in, garbage out. This newspaper is a stranger. Its objects are three-dimensional, are going to Pennsylvania. I shake the words off the page. The dust of Egypt, of cave walls. She's like a really bad Bukowski. And Bukowski wasn't a great poet either, but he was at least deriding the actual poets, academic poets. My face is black. See the moon? My eyes, how distant from you I am. No, I'm the inside of your sleep, your mouth chewing food, your ancestors coming from their photographs at night in the shape of animals, in the shape of two moons. watching Whose Name Are You? Shut up. You're awful. You're awful. I'll give you credit. Your illustrations are good, but the subject matter is just, I mean, beneath your aptitude for art. But maybe that's the shtick. My right hand is a cowboy. Hey, look, we even got a penis here with the flowers and insects. Goddess Meditations from Isis to Sophia. Picked up this book because it seemed rather local and only could be purchased, or maybe not only purchased, but from the Mayflower Book Shop, which it was in Berkeley. I don't know, maybe it still is. Maybe it is, which is a new age kind of store. The lettering in this book is, I mean, just microscopic. Well, not on the titles, but I mean, it's in a little cursive. And Rhea by Robert Graves, all she basically did was just take the copyrights of other people. Maybe she got permission. I doubt it, but maybe it isn't even a she. Who was this? Compiled by Gabriel. I just assumed it was a dude or a chick because why else would you be talking about the goddess unless you were a chick? But maybe the dudes know more about the goddess than the actual goddess members. Anyway, I'm going to sell this book because it's worth money. I Remember Inkster. In its beginning years, it's a book by this lady, Georgia Ruth McKay, author. I began the book of my growing childhood life here in Inkster in 1993 and put it aside. I mean, no one proofread this. I now regret that I did not finish because my father would have enjoyed reading and being reminded of his works here. For me to live in poverty as a child in an uninhabitable village and to see the many wonders of its growing into a city is an experience not very many can say that they lived to see. I now can enjoy the memories and give thanks to God for bringing us through it all. What she means is that Inkster, which was predominantly, I would say, in the mid-century, was predominantly black in one sector and white in another. And the fact that the whites or the blacks and the whites were going to the same school caused many whites to wish to segregate, and then they also, part of the eastern half of Inkster became Dearborn Heights in response to the fact that they didn't want a lesser education. I don't know the specifics of the education system, but yeah, that's what the crux of it was. And then what was I getting to? Oh yeah, basically Dearborn or Inkster fell into disrepair in the 20s and 30s and was somewhat of a shanty town before Henry Ford, who employed many Southern blacks who had immigrated to the Detroit area in his factories. And he started rebuilding the homes and doing, all kinds of rebuilding of homes and then selling them to his workers. I think at maybe a partial discount, but he made them pay for it all back. He basically gave them loans by basically supplying everything they needed. Food, everything. Food, housing, and then part of their wages were taken and returned to him without profit, I believe. And then, he was always solvent in the project. And at some point it just ended. I can't remember exactly why. But he allowed for many of his workers to purchase homes through this method. And at some point in mid-century, as I was saying, there was a white and black divide, but most of the black suburb of Inkster, the good areas were rather viable. Not to say that there probably weren't bad areas. I don't know every piece of the history, but it was one of the more affluent black only neighborhoods in the country at the time. Eventually, other things happened, like they built a huge trailer park on the border of Wayne and Inkster. And some blacks claim that it was to decrease the value of their own homes. And then there was also projects built there for housing military, which later became actual projects. They were more barracks at the time, but now they're projects, or maybe it was just projects. Either way, the city is not doing great at present, but not as bad as it was probably 25 years ago. Pardon! Kurt Vonnegut Jr., Cat's Cradle. Got it for... How much did I get this for? Where did I get it at? Do not recall. I believe I got both of these, each 50 cents. Where did I get these? Is this involved? I think it was, yeah. At the same store, I was supposed to get... Actually, I think I got them for 69 cents because they were supposed to give me 50% off because it's my birthday month, but they didn't. They gave me 25% off. Some new lady at the store. But Lonesome Traveler by Kerouac. Can't say I know much about this book. This book's going straight to my child. This book is... Oh, we got a remembrance card inside it. Who's it in remembrance? Harvey Olson. Oh, that's right. Now I remember. Did I get some of these at an estate sale? Yeah, I did get this at an estate sale. I'll tell you, Harvey is written about in this book, which is a diary from this lady who I believe had cancer. She's dead now. Yeah, Harvey's mentioned. Better see how much she wrote about Harvey. Damn, there's a lot of writing about Harvey and herself. We had 3 inches overnight and high today of 38, a low of 10 above tonight. Sunshine tomorrow, a high of 20. Some exciting stuff. I had a nice visit with family. Whoa, we got an envelope. What's this? Wouldn't it be great if it was just frickin' loaded with cash? Mrs. Inga Olson, Westland, Michigan. From Wyoming. Let's see what she got. Probably just a card. I'm gonna say, oh, she sent a bunch of stamps. Something else just fell. That must be Harvey. Maybe I got one of those rare stamps in there. Doubt it, but yeah, that's about it. That's the end of that. Come here, Harvey. Didn't mean to drop you, buddy. Put your bag in, Bubba. Doomsday from Warwick Deeping. This book, if you recall, which you probably didn't watch my last book purchase video. But if you did, you would have seen that I picked up this book by Warwick Deeping. Not only did I pick it up, the cover was detached, and I found think the book first. And then I said, hey, maybe I can find this cover. And I dug through this huge trough, and I eventually did find the cover. And now I found this book today, Doomsday by Warwick Deeping. Barbara Henderson. See? Author of Sorrel and Son. Kitty. Uther and Igraine. Old Pybus. Roper's Row. Dear Mr. Biddulph. So yeah, I may read this. I don't know. Let me read some of the chapter titles, see what it's about. Beanflower and Haytime, The Orchid House, Doomsday. Maybe these are just short stories. It's reprinted 11 times, so... Someone had asked Mary Viner as a child why she'd so disliked going to school, and had received the pregnant reply, because one does the same thing every day, and at the age of 23, Mary was still resenting repetition. Only more so because life had become more busily full of it, a circus of dreary tidyings. All right, you get the point. Rosalind at Redgate, Meredith Nicholson. I think I was charged $2.50 a book today. This one, Warwick Deeping. This one, The Cloister and the Off. Don't know anything about these authors, but I'm assuming that they were turn of the century authors. Right around the time of Eden Southworth's demise. We shall see. I will look them up and gather more info before deciding to read any of these. This is by Charles Reade. I know about Reade because of Henry Ward, son of Detroit business magnate Eber Brock Ward, who was in a mental institution for half his life until his death. And at one point he broke out of a local asylum in this area where I live, and he escaped. And there's varying accounts of what happened. In the Free Press, which was a Democrat paper, they claimed that he had an armed standoff with police and he shot at him, and then he was interviewed after, and he mentions Charles Reade, who wrote a book about asylum life. So that's why I picked this up. But then again, the Detroit News, which was a Republican paper, and his father, Eber Brock, and presumably Henry, were, despite being spiritualists, which many Republicans were, they were Republicans. And so they claimed that nothing happened, and there was a peaceful return of Ward to the psychiatric ward. But who knows? Anyway, I picked that up. And then today, I picked this book up. Also, The Dissociation of a Personality. Which is funny, because I'm doing minute research for this book I picked up last week at the big book sale, The White Cat. This is apparently about dissociative personalities as well. It's a groundbreaking book in that aspect because apparently it's the first one, maybe first American. Maybe it's the first one ever. Who knows? That's what it seemed to indicate, but I don't know. So now I'm more inclined to read this just because I found a nonfiction book on dissociative orders. I also have another novel on dissociative disorders, I should say, which I was contemplating reading just because it was from the author of, what's that book? The hell is it called? Not the Rat Race. I can't think of what it's called. Anyway, so I believe that's going to... the only thing that stopped me from beginning this book on this channel, reading the entire thing, is that the first chapter is, I believe, 30-some pages. 23 pages, which is a lot of pages when you're reading into a video. Let's see what that chapter comes out to be. 42. Yeah, so these are long chapters, and I'd probably have to break them up. Yeah, 18 pages. 18 pages is probably 40 minutes. I'm not sitting there reading for 40 minutes. Not only do I already make errors on each page I read, but the longer I go, the more wearisome I get, bruv. But I plan on reading this book at some point. I will have to chop the chapters up. How many pages are there? Don't look. 389 pages. That's a long book. Anywho, that's about it. See if there's anything good in here besides the book plate. How Sally got her eyes open. The beginnings of automatism. The birth of Sally. I thought there were some illustrations in there, but I guess I'm wrong. Anyway, I paid $5 for this one, since it was half off. Focus, you piece of garbage. There you go. Anyway, that's it. Goodbye, bruv. Goodbye.